My name is Prince Dube. I'm the chief curator of the Soweto Museums. The Soweto Museums is a cluster of 3 museums, Hector Pietersen Museum, Kliptown Open Air Museum, and the June 16 Memorial Acre. In 1976, on the 16th of June, students of Soweto took their grievance to the streets. They marched. The purpose was to march to Orlando Stadium, where they were going to finalize their memorandum, and march to the nearest Orlando police station and hand over the memorandum. From there, then they will go back home. The purpose was to voice their grievance against the use of Afrikaans as a medium of instruction. They had a challenge with Afrikaans not because they were hating it as a language, but because they didn't even have teachers who were going to teach Afrikaans. So it was a struggle. You can imagine then where you are asked to learn a language and no one is understanding the language, even the teachers, even the parents at home. So the Afrikaans was just introduced, and the government, when it was justifying why introduced the Afrikaans, they said they were balancing languages that are used by the taxpayers. Because if you remember, apartheid used 2 languages, English and Afrikaans. So they wanted to spread it. In other words, they were spreading apartheid into all schools. So unfortunately, there were no one to teach those students. So the students said they were fed up, and they decided to take their complaint to the government. And it was going to be a peaceful march until it was disrupted by the police, who started shooting students. Since students were coming from different directions, there are 3 main roads that are significant. One is Khumalo Street. Khumalo Street was used by the students who were coming from the Orlando East side, because the purpose was that they would go up and then turn into Vilakazi Street, because the first meeting point was Pefeni Secondary School. And then the other group came down Vilakazi Street, who were coming from Naledi and Morris Isaacson. And then the third was Moema Street, where students gathered in front of Orlando West High School. So police were in all these streets. They were not based in one street, but in Moema there were police, a corner Moema and Khumalo Street. Some were following students down the Vilakazi Street from Dube side, and some then were following kids from the Orlando side. While students gathered in front of the Orlando West High School and Pefeni Secondary, then police arrived. Students were not ready. They unleashed a dog, and the students killed that police dog. Then police started shooting at students using live bullets. Hector was at Moema Street. Hastings was the first victim, was walking or marching with the students from Morris Isaacson. Then he was shot at Vilakazi Street while they were walking towards Orlando East. Hector was standing with his sister, Antoinette Sitole, next to Orlando West, but on Moema Street. And then police that approached from the Khumalo Street side, then started shooting. And one of the bullets then hit him, and he was picked up by Mbuisa Makubu. He tried to rush him to the nearest clinic, but unfortunately when they got there, he was declared dead. There has been change. The area was dominated by those red brick 4-room houses back then. But now if you see it, most of those 4-room houses are gone. People have extended, made some of the houses look modern, but there were those government red brick four-room houses. The community culturally was stable. They, like any other community in South Africa back then, it was a mixture of multiple people who were using different languages, coming from different places, who came to Johannesburg looking for work. But once they are here, then they created like one nation. And they, although apartheid tried to separate them by location, to say people who speak this particular language must stay at Dube, who speak another language must stay at Zondi, and so forth. But people in general, they mixed and they lived the life as if they are just one people. The part that is declared is a triangle of 3 roads, where it's Khumalo Street, Muema Street, and Vilakazi Street. And this Khumalo Street incorporates the memorial, where the Hastings Lovu Memorial towards the end of Khumalo Street. And then Muema incorporates the spot where Hector Pieterson was shot. And then it's Vilakazi Street, which has a Nelson Mandela House and Archbishop Desmond Tutu House, who are both the recipients of the Nobel Peace Prize. So this triangle then was declared as a National Heritage Site. If you look at this site as a whole, you notice a difference compared to other sites, other heritage sites in the country. This one is mainly looked after by the people. The reason is because it's their initiative. The site was initiated by the community of Orlando West. Just immediately after the incident of the 16th of June 1976, they then declared this open space as a heritage site, or I would say they declared it as Hector Pietersen Heritage Precinct. And there were meetings, community meetings that took place where they were debating what to do with this site. You will know some, they wanted a shopping mall, they said it will create jobs, and some would say, let's do 1, 2, 3. But eventually the winning idea was that it must be made it must be established as a heritage site that will commemorate the 1976 student uprising. Then today, after the museum was established, you have people who are benefiting economically. Some, they have shops around the museum and shops in Vilakazi Streets, or I would say businesses in Vilakazi Streets. We also have small traders, people who are selling craft and other souvenirs to visitors, to people who are visiting these sites. And they also provide protection, whether during the day or during the night. The site is mainly protected by the local people. The site firstly is under the management of, or is managed by the city of Johannesburg, the municipality. Both the routes and the museum, which is adjacent to the routes. SAHRA is a principal of all heritage sites, whether declared or not declared. They provide a policy framework for all of us. Like for site management, if we want to write a policy on the site management, we refer to the framework that SAHRA provides. Over and above, SAHRA protects these sites. The city of Johannesburg, as the owner of the site, cannot just decide we are converting now, we are taking away Muema Street. We want to build houses there. We will only be left with two roads. They need to get permission first from the body, the national body, which is SAHRA, before they do that. SAHRA can say yes, they can say no. If they say no, then you cannot go ahead and do what you wanted to do there. So SAHRA is an important agency here that will make sure that these sites are protected. And they also provide a guideline when you want to develop them. Sometimes you might want to improve a site thinking that you are improving it, you end up destroying it. For instance, the Mandela cell, which was painted. So they thought they are improving the cell. At the end of the day, they destroyed the heritage component of it. So SAHRA is there then to provide guidelines that we do not end up destroying while we think we are improving. I would like to thank SAHRA for their support, and we will appreciate if we can continue your support as an agency. We also like to thank the other stakeholders who are assisting the City of Johannesburg to keep this museum at the standard that it is on. And we also like to mention that we are the winners of the Outstanding Museum Award for the current year.